welcome back to the channel. My name is Tori Merritt and I'm a photographer and filmmaker from the Pacific Northwest. So if you want to get to today's theme, I'll put a timestamp in the description. But before that, I just wanted to welcome all of the new subscribers to the channel. So a lot of you are here because of a video I uploaded about a month ago on the iPhone 14 Pro. I can't believe the reception of that video. When I uploaded that, I had about 200 subs and now we're closing in on 3,000. So the support has been unbelievable. I appreciate every single one of you. I'm excited to have you along for the ride. In case you haven't seen that video, I'm gonna definitely put a little card up here that you can check that out. I would greatly appreciate it. I'm also sure that some of you are wondering when's the next iPhone video coming, and I'm working on it. I think what we're gonna do is create an editing breakdown video, followed soon, hopefully, by a portrait review. So let's hop onto the computer and we'll get into breaking down some of the images. Sweet, so now that we're in Lightroom, I just want to talk about the shooting environment, some camera settings, some composition tips, and how the film performed overall. So let's start out by just flicking through some of the shots on this roll. Give you a sense of what it looked like in there that day. Give Lightroom a chance to load. Hopefully it's speedy. Let me show you, we'll get more into all the images, but let's talk about the shooting environment. So it was a really dark, overcast day. We're shooting in the morning and we have the studio features basically these two window banks. We've got one facing the east and one facing the north, and what it created was just this very soft, even lighting, but it was dim, and that is exactly why I decided to push this roll one stop, just to squeeze a little bit more light out of this roll. So it was dim enough in the studio this day to where at about f2.8 I had to shoot at 1/50th shutter speed, and for portraiture and on film that's just too slow for my taste. So by pushing this roll one stop, I was able to comfortably shoot at 1/100th and certain times 1/125th of a second, which is adequate for me for shutter speed. So the gear I was using that day was the Canon EOS 1V, which is a fairly modern film camera with great autofocus. It's got extremely good build quality. You can go more into that camera sometime, but that's the camera I had that day, and I was shooting on the Sigma 35mm Art, the 1.4. So make sure to comment below if you want me to go more into gear, if you want me to go into camera settings, but let's just talk about the composition and kind of like what the day looked like. Basically, I think you can come up with this pretty quickly. The look is like high contrast, black and white themed. Not only black and white themed with what the film is, but literally black and white themed with what the subject and the environment was. It's a black like bodysuit and a white wall. So we're perfectly set up for this sort of minimalistic, elegant, kind of rich and lush contrast look, which HP5 pulls off so well. A lot of the compositions, I just wanted to play with negative space, right? Just framing her in an interesting way and letting like the posing do a lot of the work. Once again, playing with tons of negative space here. I think that kind of stark contrasty look with the black theme on that wall with that super even light is really, really nice. And then just interacting with certain props. I love her expression in these. This is the image I used for the thumbnail of this video, and I absolutely love this shot. We talk about composition again. Let's kind of go back and get this on a dark gray background. Let's zoom out a little bit. The way that the body is moving through the frame diagonally, and then you've got the center of focus obviously is her face and a fantastic expression. And HP5 just does such a good job of these rich kind of like dense 3D skin tones, and there's like some grit to it, but it's very soft still, and it has a lot of shape, and it just shows a lot of contour. I love that about this film. And when you push film, you know, like HP5, it almost amplifies that contrast and grain even a little bit more. So it just honestly was the perfect film stock for this day. It was worked out so well. I wanted to focus on just having the model fill almost this sort of blank kind of white canvas. So things like having her lean on the wall with the stool kind of like leaning with her, or things like, you know, her standing just with this very blank canvas look. I love that. Very minimal. Or, you know, turn around to the other corner of the room and incorporate some of the windows. That was fun. With film, you have to be so selective because you get 36 shots per roll, right? So you really have to maximize what you're shooting. Another thing I want to mention really quickly is I did create a PDF with some poses, and I would honestly not be afraid of doing that. If any of you guys are even advanced portrait shooters or beginners, having references, having like a game plan on a shoot day is so important. A lot of these poses were, you know, heavily influenced by things I had already seen, you know, recently or a long time ago, and just being able to supply the model with those ideas is really important. And they will bring their own unique personality to some of your suggestions. Like Sydney honestly did so well, and she knew kind of exactly how to treat this session. That was definitely the mood I was going for. She just did fantastic, and you know, developing rapport with a model is really important, and being able to kind of get them to buy into your vision. When everything kind of comes together, you've got the styling, you've got the light, you've got your camera settings, a great environment to shoot in, and then a nice set of poses, and you know, moving the camera, making sure that you're highly dynamic. Things can go really well, and this film stock handles that type of shooting environment really, really well. So just to recap really quickly, what are the strengths from my experience with this roll of Ilford HP5 pushed one stop? I would say the lush kind of softness of skin tone with a lot of shape and a lot of character. That's a huge win for this film stock. You know, if you just look at some of these examples, I think you really see what I mean. The second thing is it's timeless. I love shooting on like black and white with actual black and white film, and not some preset or not a digital rendition of that, because you can't really overdo it. It's never going to look cheesy. It's always going to look very controlled. It's always going to look timeless. It's always going to look tasteful. That's one of my favorite things about film, is like the look that's already baked in is already going to be kind of, you can't really go wrong. You're not going to overdo it, or it's not going to be cheesy, right? Another big win for this film stock is just this lush contrast. You know, if you take, you know, just going through, I mean, look at this. It's just, it's exactly what you want in a black and white film stock. I highly suggest you go and try it. It really highlights the model's unique character. It allows you to really connect with them and create something that does have that classic appeal. So let's just take maybe one last little flick through what the day looked like and just appreciate this film. It's, you know, like I would totally put this in like a book, you know, like how classy that looks. I would print that, right? And to know that it's so versatile and that it handles being pushed one stop so well, I would do this again in a heartbeat. Sweet, so I wanted to keep this video at around 10 minutes, so we'll go ahead and wrap it up, but make sure to post any questions down below. I'm also almost always available in the DMs on Instagram. I love having conversations with you guys there. Allows me to go a little deeper and even learn a lot of stuff from you guys, so that's been fun to connect with some of you that way. And once again, seriously thank you to all of the new subscribers that came from that iPhone video. I will be making more content about the iPhone coming up pretty shortly here, and I'm really just looking forward to growing with you guys. So thanks again, and we'll see you on the next one.